Welcome back to our course, Big Data Analytics and Business Intelligence. So our today's topic is Introduction to Big Data Analytics and Business Intelligence Part 2. In previous lecture, we have seen few topics such as what is big data, why big data, what are the characteristics of a big data. Now next topic is what are the sources of a big data. So there are many sources are there here. Here I mentioned few sources from various domains. So very first one is social networking sites. So social networking is a major source of a big data. So social networking sites such as Facebook, Google and LinkedIn. Can you imagine how much data is generated by Facebook? We have discussed it about in previous lecture that Facebook is going to generate 500 TB of data every day, because Facebook is having millions and billions of user, and every day one user is going to post the video, share the images, make a comment, so it generates a huge amount of data. Similarly, in case of Google, huge amount of data is being generated. Similarly, in case of LinkedIn, it's again one of the social networking site is there. So social networking site play a very major role in the generation of big data. Then second source of big data is e-commerce sites. E-commerce sites such as Amazon, Flipkart, Alibaba is there. So in case of this e-commerce website, many products are there along with their description, and as well as the customer is posting review also. So e-commerce site also is one of the source for generating a huge amount of data. Then next source is weather station. So every day there is a weather, we already know that there is a weather forecasting department is there who is forecasting the weather for a next day. So all the weather station and satellite gives a very huge data. They are also generating a huge data. So this is another source is there. Then next one is a telecom company is there. So telecom giants such as Airtel, Vodafone, Jio, these are also various companies are there, telecom companies are there. So they are having various plan, their customer data is there. So they are also going to generate a huge amount of data. Customer posting their queries, they are sharing, companies sharing various plan, try to solve the query posted by the customer. So ultimately they are also generating a huge amount of data. So telecom company is also treated as another source of big data. Then last source which I mentioned over here is a share market. Share market also generate a huge amount of data, because we have seen that there are various characteristics of a big data. So one characteristics we have seen the velocity. So in the velocity, what we have seen, the speed at which data is being generated. So share market generates a real-time data every day. Suppose we talk about India. In India, our share market opens at 9:15 and closes at 3:30. So during which they are generating a huge amount of data. So where are multiple sites are there which are generating data related to various shares, various companies are there which are listed in the BSE as well as the NSE. So all these are the considered as a sources of a big data. Now the next topic is what are the challenges of a big data. So big data is generated, we already know who is contributing in the generation of a big data. Now we should know what are the challenges that is created by this big data. So one of the challenges, data quality. See, generation of big data is okay, but important thing is what? Quality of data is again important thing, because whenever you are using the data for analysis purpose, suppose the data is not authenticated, data is not well pre-processed, it contains some kind of outliers or it is having some missing values, then this kind of data will not be useful for analytics purpose. So the quality of data that we gather, that is also very important. So it is one of the biggest challenge, because in case of a big data analytics, in case of deep learning, in case of a machine learning, we are making a prediction, but for that making prediction, what is important? To have a data. So the quality of a data is play a very important role. That means we want a authenticated data. Next one is discovery. So discovering information from a huge amount of data is very important. you might have heard about data mining. So data mining means what? A huge amount of data is there here, and you are mining some kind of information from a huge amount of data. So discovery of information from a huge amount of data also play a very important role. So here I mentioned it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Means huge amount of data and you need to find a important information from that. So this is another a challenging task in the field of a big data. Then most important thing is storage. As company, various companies are there, they are generating a huge amount of data, but they need to store the data. In case of a Facebook, they are generating a data, so that data has to be stored somewhere, then and then this data can be displayed. So storage of that kind of data also play very important role. Traditionally, uh, we don't have that much capacity to store the data, but nowadays you can find that a number of devices are coming where you can store data very easily, and their capacity is also increasing. Before 10 to 15 years ago, so you observe that your hard disk is of 80 GB is enough for that. You observe about the pen drive is of 1 GB. You are using floppy disk, you are using a CD. But nowadays, as soon as there is a innovation in the field of hardware technology, the storage is also increasing. But still we can say that, see, on the one side, the volume of data that is generated in one day is also increasing. So at the same time, related to that, device is also a new kind of devices is coming to meet the requirement. But still we can say that there is a lag between volume of data generated and the storage devices available to store that data. The next one is analytics. So analyzing the data in the appropriate format is also a very important thing. Because why data analytics is important? In order to extract some kind of pattern. Having only data is not enough, but you should able to extract some kind of pattern which we can use to take a decision related to our business. So analytics is also a very important thing. Then next thing is security. As the huge amount of data is generated, we need to take care of security. See, most of the time you may heard about the security thing. Nowadays in this corona pandemic situation, Zoom application is being used many times. So in that case, a huge amount of data is generated, so always there is a question on the security of that Zoom application. Then nowadays you heard about that Twitter account is hacked. Most of the influential person, their a Twitter account has been hacked. So maintaining the security of the data is also play a very important role. That means it is one of the challenge to maintain the security, because we know that in this world there are a number of hackers are there, so who are also trying to find the breach, what is the loopholes given in that particular website. They are always in the search of finding the loopholes in the security of that particular website or particular app. So protecting your data from that hacker is also a very important thing. Then lack of talent is there. Lack of talent means what? Still we are saying that data science is in boom, it's a buzzword, deep learning is there, machine learning is there, but still company required a skillful data science engineer who can work for them. So still there is a scope. Means though a number of software engineer and number of data science engineers are available, but still company feels that still they required skillful data science engineer who can do the analysis for them. So these are the various challenges involved in the big data. So this is what a diagram you can see, that big data challenges is there is one of the load for that, and it creates opportunity for you also, because whatever the challenges that is generated by big data, it creates an opportunity for you to try to overcome this challenge. Now the next topic is, what are the different applications of a big data. So big data is having a huge number of application in various domains. Here we can see LinkedIn is there, Twitter is there, Facebook is there, Gmail is there, YouTube is there, Apple is there, Windows is there, WordPress is there. So these are few users which I have mentioned, but still I can say that multiple users are there who are using a concept of a big data. Now the next thing is, we'll discuss about the various application. Very first is banking. Now can you tell me what is the application of big data in banking? For finding the credit card defaulters. So finding the credit card defaulters, predicting whether the customer will continue in the particular bank or not. So for that purpose you require a big data. Similarly, in case of insurance, there can be a prediction that how many customer will purchase a particular plan, how many customer means how many settlement will we have to do in next 5 years or next year. So in case of insurance domain also we can make a prediction. So huge amount of data is being generated. What are the age group of a person who is in the higher risk? So that thing is also there in case of insurance domain. Then in case of a transportation, you will find airlines is there, railway is there. So in case of airline, there is a dynamic ticketing price. That means the ticket price has been divided based on the customer, number of customer, based on the season. So in that case also big data play a very important role. Similarly for railway reservation, in that case booking is there, Tatkal booking there. So how many customer will be there, how to decide the price for that particular ticket. So that is also important thing in case of a transportation. Then next domain is a education domain. In case of a education domain, you can predict what will be the performance of particular student, what will be the trend, which particular branch is having a demand in next year. So that kind of prediction you can do with the help of a big data. Then in case of manufacturing industry, what are the product which is having highest demand, what are the features that customer want in particular product. Then in case of energy and utility, how much will be the consumption, based on the previous data you can predict what is the duration where most of the energy will be consumed. So that thing is there. Then in case of a healthcare domain, you can predict diabetes prediction is there, disease prediction is there, heart attack prediction is there based on the data that we have gathered. Similarly in case of a media and entertainment, various videos are there, various web series are there. So what kind of customer exists in the market, what are their likes, dislike, whether company will grow in that case or not. So Amazon Prime, Netflix is also making use of a big data. So big data having a variety of application in variety of domain, but still I have mentioned few application over here. Now next one is a advanced application. So I can say that self-driving car is one of the advanced application of a big data. Then I have mentioned about this entertainment and media, Netflix is there, Amazon Prime is there. They are going to predict what is the like and dislike of a customer, how much customer they will grow in next year. So then again next one is smart yoga mat. This is another application of a big data. So these are a few advanced applications of a big data. Now the next one is big three. So big three involves big data, that we already know. Big data is a huge amount of data which we cannot process by using traditional technology. The next term is a data science. It's a very broad field which mostly use data to find the solution of your problem. And data analytics means what, we are just try to extract the pattern from a huge amount of data. So these are the big three technologies are there which play important role in case of a big data. Then what is big data analytics? Big data analytics is there, it's a process of examining a large amount of data to uncover hidden patterns as well as correlation and their insights. That means the main role of our big data analytics is to extract the patterns. We need to find the pattern from a huge amount of data. As I have given an example of that, suppose in case of a class, I found that particular student getting late on particular day. For example, on every Tuesday he is getting late. So that this is a pattern I observe. Then I can find that one of the student is there who is not getting good marks in the initial exam, but the final exam he is getting a good mark. So this is what a pattern. I will found that these are few group of students are there who is not performing well in the internal exam, but they are performing well in the final exam. That means from the data I just extract the pattern. So this is what a big data analytics. So I hope you understand the topic which we are discussed today. So today we discuss about what are the sources of a big data, then what are the challenges given by big data, and just because of the challenges a number of opportunities being created, then what are the applications are there uh, in various domain, and what are the advanced application, and what are the big three technologies are there that contributes in the big data, and finally what is a big data analytics. So here we will stop. In tomorrow's lecture we are going to discuss about remaining points. Thank you.